Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Guild Wars 2 Mythbusters. Now this episode is going to be the last of the initial run of like 60 myths I ended up writing out. Turns out now that I've moved to 60 frames, we're getting some weird interlacing issues. So this episode will be 30 frames and we'll move on to a whole bunch of new, more awesome ones I've started to gather from you guys in the comments and test out. There's some good ones coming up. So let's do this. Plenty of Easter eggs and interesting things here today. The best of the bunch as far as I was concerned. Let's do it. Alright, so myth number one. This was actually the first one I ever filmed. You'll see Liz here rocking out her scientist outfit. And that's that the Kylo windows will shatter but not break with just a little bit of a light touch. Now, some of you who PvP may already know the answer to this one, but as you can see here, I cast my Phoenix on the window and it breaks. If anything really hits these windows, they will shatter instantly like Treb. So, we decided to try something else. What if you get weakened and use the lowest base attack we could possibly find, which was my friend here using a water auto attack on Staff. And what do you know, as you can see there, the windows can actually be damaged. It's incredibly rare to see this. You have to do minute amounts of damage. But as you can see there, they do get damaged. They shatter, they have an animation, but they will not fully break. Maybe an artifact of early Kylo development where they'd be a bit more resilient. Now, very rarely seen. Myth confirmed. Myth number two for this week is that there is a dramatic gopher in Queensdale. You can look at my minimap here to see exactly where we are in Queensdale. Well, this is a gopher. And there you have it. Oh yeah, it's true. Myth confirmed. Myth number three for this week takes us back to COF. This is another cool little Easter egg that there is apparently a hidden spider pet in COF. Now you can get this on any path you like. Here we are at path selection. I'm sort of highlighting another little trick you can do in this path as well, where if you talk to the NPCs quick enough, you can have NPCs bound for other paths following you through any path you like. So you can have like the path 2, path 3 NPCs following you in path 1 if you like. But if you hide in this little corner here, you will notice that there is a tiny, weeny, itsy biddle little spider called Dozer. And by going near Dozer, it'll put the infatuated buff on her, and she'll get these little love hearts. If you zoom in close enough, you will see. The spider will now follow you, or one member of your party, throughout the rest of the dungeon. COF is full of random little things like this. Dozer will keep going, nothing can kill Dozer, it won't help you in combat, but it will fall in love and you'll get a little spider pet. How cool is that? Including the other NPCs, you can actually have quite a horde of allies with you, doing any COF path you like. Myth confirmed. That's 3 confirmations in the row. Are we going to have a combo breaker here? Number 4 is that moment of clarity affects fear. What does this mean? For those of you who are unfamiliar with Ranger, in the second line skirmishing, one of the Grand Masters states that it will increase stun and daze durations by 100%. It will double them. Now, there has always been in Guild Wars 2 a weird thing where fear, even though it is technically a condition, is classed by many things in the game as some kind of a stun disable. It used to be affected by sigil paralyzation, etc. So here we are on our Ranger, using a fear skill, and you'll notice if we freeze frame in just a second, by default, this fear ability will last 4 seconds. Let's see what happens if we toggle our trait on instead. Pop it once again. And oh, look at that. It will now, in fact, indeed last 8. This can be boosted by other things, and look at how far away these guys will run now. This is hilarious in World vs. World. It will go on and on and on. Very difficult to pull off, however. You need a pet with forage to collect a skull to even be able to fear as a ranger. But it's true. Myth confirmed. Myth number 5 already. Summoned pets do not level scale. What do we mean by this? Well, this is not like ranger pets. This is not like summons you'll use on Glyph of Elementals, for example. What I'm talking about here are things like the Ogre Pet Whistle and Fire Elemental Powder. Right now we're in Mount Maelstrom. We are at level 70, as highlighted here. This is our current scale. So when we summon these creatures, they too will be at level 70. As you can see, I've got level 70 Bear, level 70 Ember. But what happens if we waypoint now to the other corner of the map, where we're a much lower scale? Well, it turns out things like this, entities like this, there is no code in the game that will cause them to be downscaled. And they will wreck face. In particular, the Ogre Pet Whistle Bear will run around doing its own thing. You will have experience rolling in without ever having to do anything. I'm not doing any damage here on this footage. I'm just letting them do the work. They do crazy amounts of damage. It's not really exploitable because there's no super big dangerous bosses in early scale areas of maps, but it's still a fun one. Myth confirmed. Myth number 6 here is that throwing siege on an enemy player will deal damage. Now, of course, sieging an enemy player will do damage. What I'm talking about here, though, is if you were to use the blueprints from your inventory and actually throw them on the location of an enemy of yours. So here I've got my test dummy Brum. I throw it. Well, that didn't seem to work, did it? Nothing really happened. Let's do a bit of a do-over. We'll try again and get really close to him. Throw this down. And what do you know? Maybe you missed it. There's a freeze frame. It does, in fact, work. 242 damage. Who knows whether different types of siege will do different amounts of damage? Didn't quite get that far to testing out, but it's true. You can throw siege on enemy players, and it will deal damage. Probably not kill them, though. Myth confirmed. The next and final myth for today is myth number 7, that rare champion boxes have a hidden animation. What do we mean by this? Well, as you guys know, you get a champ box that will actually appear on the ground. There are 2 different types. There is a platinum-looking box, which is actually exactly the same as the end chests you'll find in dungeons. Or if you were to get a rare champ box, you actually see a small little wooden box appear on the ground. This is an artifact from one of the early feat systems ArenaNet had in early betas. You can see it here on the footage. Normally you just press F on this and it would go straight into your inventory. The chest would disappear. However, if you have a full inventory, when you try to open this, you'll instead see a secret little animation that will not play in any other way, that will actually depict the chest opening up. This comes with its own sound effect, and inside you can find 2 small little loot bags. It's all there coded in the game, it's just no one will ever see it. And if you refuse to accept the loot, you'll see it close once again. Really cool. This happens with the exotic boxes as well, but we see those animations in dungeons. Makes you wonder why ArenaNet don't reuse this or have it in a common way. The only way to see this is to have your inventory full and actually get one of these drops. Really cool stuff. And finally, myth confirmed. Oh yeah, we went on a bit of a confirm spree there. I don't know if you guys were expecting one of these to be false. Not at all. As I say, that's the last of the initial run. We'll be moving on to some new ones soon, so we can go back up to 60 FPS. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to continue leaving them in the comment section below. They have been phenomenal so far. Only better stuff to come. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon for another Guild Wars 2 Mythbusters.